They were in the mountains, farmers on their way to market. Then the jets came. 10 men were killed at Hairan, a dozen wounded.
What did you see when you came out of the car? What did you see around you?
شفت في نار. جلست يمكن حوالي 5 دقائق. النار تلتهب على جسمي حتى شعري احترق. يعني جزء من راسي ويدي ورجلي. الرجل الثانية. شفت الناس مقطعين وبيشتعلوا. حتى جسم الإنسان يطلع منه يعني نفس الزيت. ناس أبرياء طالبين الله إيش ذنبهم؟ الواحد يعني يوفر لقمة لأهله.
In the village of Hairan, one of the dead, 20-year-old Isa Tamawehi, was being mourned by his mother, Jumayya.
وابني كان شاقي علي، وابني كان دائم، وكان كل حياتي الصدق شنو الصدق؟ هو كل حياتي والله أنا ما أقدر أفارقه لكن.
Britain, along with the United States and others, sells billions in military hardware to Saudi Arabia and politically backs the coalition war. Support that's become increasingly controversial. Key infrastructure and hospitals have been hit. Over a 12-month period, the UN estimated 60% of casualties in the war were caused by Saudi-led coalition airstrikes. There have been numerous child victims. 15-year-old Ruwaida Salah was wounded 6 months ago by a cluster bomb. She lost her left leg at the hip.
تخيلي اني خلاص انا ما عاد مني حياتي ولا عتيالي ما عبينا اشوف نفسي حاله تيالي كما شفت البنات وشفت الناس ما هبين يروحوا ويجوا اتحطمت وما عاد اقدر امشي وخلاص تيالي اني انتهيت.
It's estimated 50% of Saudi combat jets are UK supplied, like this RAF Typhoon flying over Scotland. Contracts, including those for bombs, are worth around £3.3 billion to companies like BAE Systems. Britain also supplies military advisors to Saudi Arabia, but denies any role in the command or control of the war. Such country-to-country sales are legal. It's the civilian death toll and allegations of war crimes which make Yemen a human rights crisis for Britain. Local investigators, critical of all sides in this conflict, are demanding an international inquiry.
The message that people get that the financial interest of UK and US is much important than the blood of victims.
You want an inquiry set up by the UN Security Council that would have binding results on everybody?
Yes, different parties will not be able to keep on saying, no, it's not us, it's the other party who's doing the violations.
Yemen's war is fueled by a wider regional struggle. These rebel fighters we met on their way to the front are backed by Iran. From the Saudi and British point of view, they're the guilty ones. Human rights groups accuse them of serious abuses, including killing civilians in shelling and sniper attacks. Saleh Al-Somad is president of their National Political Council, which is in revolt against the internationally recognised government.
The British argument, of course, is that you're not the legitimate government.
That government is not legitimate. There was only one candidate in the election. Why do the British support the opposition in Syria against the legitimate government there? They only talk about legitimacy when it suits them.
The casualties of airstrikes continue to arrive in hospital. Karam Haza is 8 years old and has shrapnel in his head and legs. Karam's mother and 18-month-old brother were killed. They're part of the moral cost Britain is now being called on to confront. Fergal, Keane, BBC News, Yemen.